I told you that a year ago, we were lucky enough to have the great platform of the Paris Peace Forum to announce the idea of the International Fund for Public Interest Media. I'm very pleased to announce today that we're going to establish the headquarters of the fund also here in Paris. Paris is a very natural choice for IFPIM to have as a home. France, in a troubled world, France has shown consistent leadership in promoting multilateralism and has been a staunch defender of press and media freedom, not just at home, but globally. Recent efforts and interesting new legislation make Paris a particularly attractive place for an international organization and a multilateral partnership like IFPIM. And we also have many close partners here in Paris. It's the headquarters of UNESCO, Reporters Without Borders, the Forum and the Partnership on Information and Democracy, which commissioned the report A New Deal for Journalism, which in turn recommended the creation of a new international fund, and the OECD, and I could mention others. So, Madam Minister, if I can, I firstly thank you for coming and also for your support and the support of the French government and France for this effort. Bonjour.
Merci beaucoup. Merci beaucoup. Bonsoir. Bonsoir.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, dear Mark. I think it is about time that you hear some French. I hope you can hear it fine because there's a lot of noise around here, which is great, but that means that it's difficult to hear one another.
Monsieur le Président
Ministers,
du Fonds international pour les médias,
dear Chair of the IFPIM,
Madame la Présidente de Next Journal, Mesdames et Messieurs,
dear Mrs. Maraglia, dear Ministers, I'm very happy to be able to offer some concluding remarks to explain to you how important free journalism is important to us in France, and how it is important to create a trusting relationship between journalists and the people reading medias. I think it is a very crucial issue to tackle because we know how medias are transforming our world in every possible aspect. So I want to thank you for taking part in this discussion on truth and trust in medias, because truth, what is truth? You're looking for it, we're looking for it. Truth and trust are two crucial elements guiding us to defend and promote free, open and quality information. In order to meet that ambition, that common ambition, we have the actual will to gather and to support independent media. The reason we're all here is because we share that conviction that information is a common good. It is a key good to democracy, and democracy is a key to progress and stability around the globe. We need to support and promote access, a large access to good information. All of us here honestly have great opportunities. This is a complex world and there are issues everywhere, but the world that we live in, us together here, is a good one because we are free to criticize what we don't agree with. We have the freedom to criticize journalists or to praise them, and not everyone in the world has that freedom. So we need to defend that right and make sure that progress is being made so that we can all have access to free and quality information. Digitalization brings out new challenges. Times are changing, and I just want to mention three of the main transformations that we are experiencing at the moment. First, the information space is globalized. It might have been a little bit the case since printing was invented, but not on the same scale. And space and time are contracting, and information can be spread almost instantly. Information and disinformation, because they travel at the same speed. Information is a key component of our lives, for our states particularly, and that is why we can see how it can be used for maneuvers, manipulations, hostile manipulations. This is a rather strong word, but I mean it. Information that aims at destabilizing our societies, not just our governments, because governments are not the only targets. Our societies as a whole are being threatened, and we can see that from non-state actors, but also state actors who are carrying out this information fight. It's asymmetric, and we don't have the same means or the same methods than these particular actors, and we should not use the same methods. You probably understand that I am talking about the propaganda that we are faced with in France and elsewhere. The information fight in Ukraine is also at the heart of these questions. Both sides are obviously trying to fight through that. We talk about a global war, a total war, and that is because it's also being done through information and disinformation. And that is the first time that it is as big in the modern world. The second thing is that this information space is being threatened by fragmentation, separation, and it is being segmented into several pieces where everyone is looking for their own truth.
So there's two bubbles, if you want, are watertight, one versus the other, and we should be able to act in a network, but this is the opposite we are watching right now. Everybody is in his own world or her own world. Everybody has his or her own truth, and that's very dangerous because it is a limitation to our democracies. And so we need to have a reasoned debate with exchanges of views in order to result in a compromise, if not to a truth. Let's be very watchful about that. We should not be closed in our own truth, because that's very dangerous. I would like to mention a third danger. We have new players coming in the information sphere, particularly the digital platforms, and those digital platforms are more and more powerful from an economic and political and strategic point of view. They have a significant power now, and it's quite formidable, and we should be afraid about that. I think that apart from the old generations, and I'm part of those old generations, young people find everything they want online. I don't want to go further in my thoughts, but I would like to mention the Twitter takeover. 40 years ago, when the web sphere started to exist, we were all very optimistic or even naive. We thought that internet would be a tool in order to defend freedom, to extend freedom or liberties or whatever the term you want to use, and that would facilitate access to information for the largest number of people possible. And at present, we are wondering whether we are going to be able to survive to Twitter. But I could mention other platforms than Twitter. But let's take the example of Twitter, which is very illustrative and even a caricature of those platforms, a caricature of this new world. They are non-stake players, not players who are not responsible to the people, were not elected by the people, and they have a great deal of influence in the life of governments. So it's unprecedented. We've never seen that in the past. So I believe that there is a need for regulation, and you're not going to be surprised when I say that. We are all in danger if we do not have a stringent regulation of this new information space. In order to take up those challenges and in order to achieve a more reliable information, France has announced in 2019 with Reporters Without Borders, the Partnership for Democracy. We were in New York a few weeks ago outside of the United States General Assembly, and I have been able to chair the second summit from New York with Reporters Without Borders. I think it was the 21st or 22nd of September. Several countries decided to join the partnership. I'm thinking about Niger, Albania, and they have decided to join us during this fifth Forum for Peace in Paris. So we have 50 countries that are members of this partnership. It's a good result, very good result. So I would like to welcome this progress, and also I would like to welcome that the inaugural meeting of the Observatory for Observation and Democracy be held here in Paris. You know that it's talked about like an IPCC of information, because there's a need for knowledge and for warning signals concerning all those issues that I've mentioned. We need to help or to support people who make decisions in the media, in civil society, but of course in the governments as well. We have to work on all that. There are many issues at stake. I have only mentioned a few of them. For instance, the power of algorithms, the emergence of a new potential totalitarianism, but more insidious, more efficient, smarter than the armed totalitarianisms. So we need to make the right decision, and we need to be supported by the right expertise from that Observatory for Democracy. I think that you have initiated a year ago a recommendation for partnership in order to set up a new deal for journalism based on a principle of economic sustainability of independent media, transparency of media ownership, and a new value for the trusted media. Of course, we support wholeheartedly this action. It's a fundamental challenge in order to fight for a free and independent press, media. I talked about economic sustainability because without economic sustainability, there won't be any independent media. In order to achieve that, we need to support you, to help you on a short-term basis, very rapidly, strengthening economic resilience. And this is one of the priorities of our French diplomacy in the whole world, or in the countries where we are established. And we need to supply a reliable democratic information in many languages. Let's not forget that. Many languages. You know that the languages can help train and educate people, and I don't think that English should be the only language used in the whole world. So I would like to welcome the UNESCO work on this topic, particularly the certification standard, which is called Initiative for the Conference in Journalism. JTI, the French acronym, and 11 states of this partnership support it. The point is to promote media which comply with specific ethical and independent regulations. Let me conclude. The President of the Republic, which has initiated this Paris Forum for Peace, has committed committed France to support your initiative. But I would like to be even more specific today and give you the good news that you have given us, Mark. I do hope it's good news. France is very happy to be able to support this fund up to 15 million euros over a period of 3 years. So we will contribute 15 million euros for 3 years. Thank you for your applause.
Et bien sûr, nous vous aiderons comme nous l'avons.
And of course, we are going to continue to help you by supporting your search for other donors. Maybe they could be even more generous than we are. That would be good, not to be the first donor. And of course, I would like to welcome and thank you for this decision to set up in Paris the initiative that you represent. It's a sign of recognition and gratitude for our commitment, and it's going to go on, of course. We have the right tools, Canal France International. Now, a few figures. Now, we, at Canal France International, it's 15.5 million euros in 21, 35 projects for professionals, media professionals in more than 20 countries, Sub-Saharan Africa, in Middle East, in Maghreb, etc. And we also have implemented a certain number of training programs for journalists, and we have given various assistance programs. We set up various assistance programs. We have also renovated the legal framework for those programs, and we will use the IPCC in order to make progress. I'm going to stop here, and I would like to guarantee that what you are doing beyond the organization that you represent, what you are doing is extremely important for us and for our democracies. France would really like to help independent media, is fully aware of the new challenges that we have to take up. Not only you benefit from our support, but also we would like to help you to grow, to thrive, and to disseminate this high-quality information throughout the world. There are many challenges that we have to take up. It's a long-term fight. Thank you very much, and you will have our support in the next few years. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Minister Colonna. And if I can just say, I'm very glad you raised the question of language. If IFPIM is meant to be a fund in the end to make sure that people everywhere around the world get trustworthy news, and they will believe that news if it's made by people of their own culture in their own part of the world, using the language they use in their everyday life. So not mainly English, actually, to be honest, not even sort of particularly English. This, I believe, is going to support journalism in French, in Portuguese, here's one of our first, and in all of the other, whether large scale or small scale, all of the great languages of the world. So thank you very much for that. And thank you, Minister, for coming and making your announcement. And I'd also like to thank our other ministers, Minister Nkrumah, Minister Lindner, and our media founder, and someone who's actually fighting this fight on the ground day in, day out. To Paola Miraglia, thank you very much for all coming. Thank you for coming. Thank you all very much.